Hey there, boys and girls of the YouTube world. The Duff dog and I got the old Cowboy Cadillac in here. That's right, we built this thing a couple years ago, and we put, I don't know, we'll find out when we put a battery in it, but we put somewhere around 1,000-ish miles on it. Kept having fuel issues. It was blowing the line off in between the pump in the fuel tank and the sending unit. So we tried different clamps and different hoses. But anyway, we quit driving it. That was like 2 years ago, and we've since robbed the coils off of it and the mass airflow sensor for a little 56 Pontiac mud truck action. So we got to put those back on it. I think the air filter ended up on another LS swap. We got a yard full of LS swaps and a shop full of them. The 49 Ford's got an LS in it, 5.3. The 69 Camaro has got a 5.3 in it. We like LS's when they work, so we got to finish up the F1 fuel issue on that one. The fuel tank is full of rust. We're putting some new houndstooth seats in the old 1969 Camaro. These things are real pretty. That's what we did this winter and finally got those done so we can put those in. And then we did ball joints, just got it back from an alignment. Mojo's putting a steering column in the old Roadrunner here. So that we can start driving that thing. But anyway, this thing is super cool. It's got a 6-liter. Starts good. It's got air conditioning, it's got drive-by-wire, so it should be easy to put cruise in it. That's the other thing I want to do is get this fuel system figured out and put cruise control in it. It's got 4L80 overdrive. It's got airbag assist in the rear. It's got onboard air to pump up the bags and to do air tool things. It's lowered because that's how we like it. It's got 88 to 98 bucket seats. It's got a new dash pad. It's got a Bluetooth stereo. It's just really good pickup. We need to get her back on the road. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's get after it. Get the hood open, put those parts back on it that it needs, and figure out what else we gotta do to it. Let's get it running again. We're not your regular scheduled shenanigans to bring you this Mortsky merch update. We got some BOGOs going on. We got some blem banners that we got for free from our supplier because they are slightly smaller print than they're supposed to be. They're the a banner, and if you buy any banner right now until these things are gone, we got like 100 of them. Whoops, somebody's gonna get a dirty shirt. But anyway, if you buy any banner until these things are gone, we're going to post on the site the BOGO, and once the BOGO is gone, we will let you know. There's no special code, no nothing. You don't have to comment, nothing. Just any banner you buy, you get one of these. Limit one per purchase. So if you buy 4 banners, you're only getting one of these BOGOs. But anyway, we got a BOGO going on banners right now, and also we got a BOGO going on some tall t-shirts. So if you're a tall guy in our 2X, 3X, or 4XLT, so talls, 2XLT, 3XLT, 4XLT, we got some blem shirts. They came in the wrong color. So we're gonna go ahead and any tall shirt you order until these things are gone, again, it'll be listed that the BOGO is live on the main page. We're gonna throw in one of these shirts with your order. All the designs that are available in tall. But anyway, head over to mortsky.com. Get yourself a BOGO on a banner and a BOGO on a 2X through a 4XL t-shirt. If you're another size, sorry, we don't have any blems to give you. Now back to your regular scheduled shenanigans. But before we do that, let me show you what my plan is. So that's the other thing. It's got 2, I believe, 18-gallon tanks, and only one of them is hooked up because this was, of course, an 85 carbureted pickup. So they put 1 tank in it and just had that tank hooked up. And the old 6-liter drinks a lot of gas, so 2 tanks would be nice. So we got to put a second tank in it, and the plan is I'm going to put 87 style stuff in it, 87 to 91 Squarebody stuff. So it's got what I call a low pressure pump in the sending unit, just like so, which is basically what we got in there, but I took the high pressure pump off and put just a low pressure TBI pump. So that's what we're gonna do. I got one of these set up for another tank. It's already got our AN fittings on it. We'll have to remove this tank, pull the sender out, put a low pressure pump in there, and then we're gonna use all the stock 1987-ish stuff with the switch on the dash and the diverter valve or switch valve or whatever you want to call it, so that it tells which pump to run and which sending unit to use. And then inline, ahead after that diverter, we're gonna put a high pressure LS pressure style pump. I think we gotta have like 55, 60 pounds, something like that. So these are what I run the Walbro GSL 380s, I think they are. Try to put a link in the video description, but anyway, this is what I like to run inline. I don't like inlines because they're noisy and it seems like they don't last as long, but at least on the frame rail, it'll be a lot easier to replace and easy to get at, and yeah. Hopefully we don't have any blowing off lines inside the sending units. But without further ado, let's get this thing thrown back together. Duff's already cracked the hood for us, so we're gonna go there. So that's the other problem when you start doing these LS swaps and you're diagnosing things. You use the ones in the yard to steal parts off of. And we got other better options, but we knew all this stuff worked on here, and it's right outside the door, so that's why we stole a few things. I stole the coil packs last weekend for that Pontiac mud truck, which was a blast. I stole the mass airflow sensor, which is still on that thing, but we're gonna try to just use the one we got in here, and hopefully that one works. If not, we'll have to steal that one off of there. But pillaging parts. Poor old Cowboy Cadillac. Coil packs are on, mass airflow sensors in place. I gotta find one more hose clamp to put an air cleaner on it. Then I dumped 2.5 gallons of coolant in here, and I'm wondering where that went because it's not running onto the ground. So then, threw a battery in it, went to crank it over, it goes click, and our battery shows that it's good. Well, goodish. So I'm wondering if all that coolant didn't end up in a cylinder. I checked the dipstick, and that thing is full. It's not over full, so it shouldn't be in the oil. Let's pull some spark plugs out and do a little investigating. See if we can't get this thing to turn over and or get a bunch of coolant. Yay! LS swaps. Ah! Son of a biscuit, pulled the end off my fancy red JDM speed plug wire. Maybe we can fix it. Red plug wires. Almost as fast as yellow ones. I don't know if there's much saving that one. Suppose we really should have a pan ready to catch whatever comes out of there. You know how we had a fuel issue? Maybe we got an injector that stuck and filled the cylinder, but that was not the problem. It was cranking over the last time we drove it, just wouldn't fire. And we've had the tank out so many times that we just assumed that it was a fuel issue. Well, good news is, nothing came out of any of the cylinders. Bad news is, I don't know why it's not cranking over, so let's try it again. Maybe we got a bad connection. It's gotta be what it is. But also the bad news is, I don't know where almost 3 gallons of coolant went. Also, the old AC Delco R44 LTSMs look really good. Should, because it's only got 2,200 miles on it. When I was cranking over, I checked the odometer. 2244, or something like that. 2,200 miles. All right, I'm gonna go inside, give her a crank, and see what happens. Stupid LS swaps. Let's turn it over, and it smells like gas. I didn't see anything shoot out of the cylinders. Maybe we lost compression? Maybe we broke a timing chain? I don't remember if we went to start it and it just didn't start, or if it died on the road. I feel like I don't remember towing it home, so I feel like we just parked it, went to start it. It was doing the same thing it did when we weren't getting fuel before, so we never even dug into it. That thing turns over really fast, and it seems like no compression, so. Never heard of an LS break a camshaft or a timing chain, anything like that, but it's possible. Mojo's gonna crank it over and see if we got compression. Okay. Ouch! That's got spark.
By the power of Grayskull.
Ouch! Yep. Okay. 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 That's good. Had to do a little digging to find my fuel pressure gauge, probably because the last time I used it was diagnosing this truck. Well, other than my gauge leaking and being a piece of crap, we're holding fuel pressure. Anyway, let's see what we got. Right now, it's sitting at 20 until I bump that, and then it goes to nothing. And then that shoots fuel onto the exhaust, probably. Let's drain that into our proper catching compartment. Zero's there, should be straight down, or a little past it ideally. Let's see what happens. Yeah, 20's all we're getting. Oh, that crept up to 40. Anyway, that's not enough, and it was doing the same things that it did before when that line blew off, and I want to get a second tank in there anyway, so let's get her up here, revamp the whole system, and get some fuel pressure up here, and get this thing back on the road. The terrible part about this pickup is also the best part, how long and low it is. But when you want to get her up on the lift, you gotta get a little creative. And creativity is my area of expertise. Let's use one lifting device to get it onto another. Going up. See you do that on your 2019 Chevrolet front bumper. Here we go, back jack. And really, it's not because the pickup is so long and low, it's because of the sweet running boards that are on it that I refuse to take off because they tie it all together. Now let's see if we can make this thing go up. All right, looks like we got a pretty new fuel tank in here. I think the guy that I got it from did that. And we got to unhook fuel filler neck and this breather hose. Well, what's he got going on here? Oh, that's an inline filter. It's already got braided fuel lines and AN fittings, so that'll be easy enough to change over. We gotta unhook those fuel hoses and those AN fittings up there at the pump, and then unhook our fuel sender and fuel pump wires. Should be good to go. We'll have this thing on the ground in no time. Famous last words. Dang, we got a nice selection out here today. Big Pontiac guy, 56 and a 79. And a Trar. 59 El Camino and Cameo Coral. Or pink if you prefer. Well, that came out pretty easy, probably because this hardware's been out umpteen times while we were still running the thing. You know what? Every time you got a fuel issue and you drop a fuel tank, what happens? Fuel tank is absolutely plumb full. So I was like, man, how am I gonna move this? So I got the transmission jack out. And I started wrestling around, and there's about 2 cups of fuel in there. So I'm an idiot, and I feel like we parked this thing 2 years ago because it needed a fuel pump, we thought. What's wrong with it? Ain't got no gas in it.
It ain't got no gas in it.
Anyway, I'm over this whole setup. The other part about doing what I want to do with dual tanks is that little switch that's in there. They say that those don't like the high pressure that an LS pump takes, and they're designed for the pressure that these TBIs. So, long story short, we're going to take this one apart. The fuel gauge was not working. I do remember that. So, you'd think that I would have thought to put fuel in it. It's like, oh, maybe it ain't got gas in it. But anyway, we're going to double check that the sender works, and then we'll double check the wiring between the gauge and the old sending unit here. This thing's got classic instruments gauges in it, aftermarket gauges, and really great setup. But anyway, we got to figure out what's wrong with that so that we've got a fuel gauge. We're pretty much set up to make this conversion, and I want to do it this way and give it a whirl. It seems like everybody who's got an LS either runs just one tank like this or runs a different, like a Suburban tank or something in the back. So there's not a lot of information I want to do out there. There is a little bit, but everybody does it differently. So I'm going to try it this way with TBI fuel pumps and senders in each tank, and then all the stock wiring and plumbing. But ahead of the pumps, we're going to go ahead and run that high pressure pump. So worst case scenario, all we got to do is take that inline pump out, throw these pumps back in the tank, and go from there. But I'm worried about that switch blowing apart because they say it's not rated for that pressure, and I'm sure there's some other type of switch in there. But if you know of a high pressure switching system that's compatible with these things for running dual tanks, hit us up, mortskerepair@gmail.com, because I want to know. We got an 8.1 out here that's running off one tank, and you can about imagine how miserable that is when you got like 20 gallons of fuel at 5 miles a gallon, so every 100 miles. So that thing doesn't get far from home. And that thing's already got the pump mounted on the frame, so that's where I came up with this idea. It's like, you know, all we got to do is put another tank in there and put the plumbing. It's already set up for it. And that's the other part about that switch or valve or whatever in there. That not only diverts your fuel, both pressure and return side, but it also diverts your power to your pump from one pump to the other, so you're not running both pumps at the same time, because that would just be silliness. Anyway, let's get this thing knocked apart, check out the sender, and put it all back together and put some fuel in it. Oh yeah, we gotta swap that pump out. I don't know. Maybe it all evaporated. Not like but gas these days, I'll tell you what. The RCB, the GSS 340 G3, made in USA. That hose does look a little bit swelled up, but doesn't look like it was leaking. We got high pressure clamps on it. This is high pressure fuel injection hose that's rated for ethanol, so this was probably fine. It was probably just out of gas. Good time to check that our sender is functional. Out of limits. Not what you want to see. Oh. Well, that's why. There's no arm on the sender. There's supposed to be an arm with a float here. So yeah, there's your problem. Where's that at? Where did you go, little buddy? Way back there. Let's go ahead and do the old magnet fishing. Please be magnetic. Oh, stainless? No way. Oh, we got it. Oh, we had it. Come on, baby. Come on now. All those hours of playing Operation finally paid off. Operation. It's like just a little bit magnetic. Just enough. We should also double check that the float floats. But it's a plastic one, so. I don't hear that there's any gas in it, but there's also no gas in the tank. So how does this go on there, and why did it come off? Are we missing something? Yeah, we're missing a lot of things, right? Let's get our screwed by Mortske repair screwdriver to pry it into place. Get your screwed by Mortske repair magnetic screwdriver for handy instances like this at mortsky.com. Maybe we need to get the Mortske repair pry bar. What's going on? Oh, there we go. How the heck did that ever come off there? Must have been operator error when putting her together. Still doesn't explain why we didn't have continuity. Multimeter's working. Clamp on there. Go to there. Well then. That's friggin' awesome. Tell you what, fuel send units are complete hot garbage. I bought that 91 Oklahoma Lullaby crew cab long bed, pretty much same thing as this, but at a throttle body 454 in it. Great pickup. The super nice state trooper who pulled me over doing 93 miles an hour. Well, I guess the old 454's got a little too much sauce. Whoops. Bought a brand new fuel pump sender, everything from O'Reilly's. 1 tank of gas, no good. This one looks like it's bad as well. We got one of those laying around? Probably not. Just frickin' hot garbage. Everything you buy these days. Yep, junk. You can actually see the old rheostatic assembly on the backside here. And I got continuity between the ground and that, but I got no continuity between the connector going to the purple wire and the rheostat setup. So something's junk in that board or the connection between the two. You gotta love the quality of parts coming out of the third world countries these days that seem to be the only parts we can get, unfortunately.
Speed of the Cowboy Cadillac.
Guess what I did? I bought a new fuel pump and sender for that pickup that I never put in it. It's a Delphi, so it's gotta be the best ones out there. It's most expensive anyway. This has got the push to connect style lines, which I really like, but since this thing's already got AN set up, we're just gonna stick with that. So I gotta cut these bad boys off and put these clamp on style AN fittings. I got a bunch of them. They're basically just an AN on one end, and then they're, what do you call it, a compression fitting. So you just cut it off, slide this over it, crank that real tight, bada bing, a bada boom. The only sucky part about them is they make them for 3/8 and 5/16 is that all the AN styles, or side, are -6, so you got the same size fuel line, front and back. So it's, you gotta be careful so you don't get them mixed up. And that's the beauty of these push to connects, is you can't put the 5/16 on the 3/8, and the 3/8 don't fit very well in the 5/16. But when you convert them to -6, you can swap them around pretty easy. So you got to be paying the attentions. So I'm going to go ahead and nip those off, clean it up, put these on there, crank them down, and hopefully we can just slam this 91 setup in there. Yes, 91, still a square body. 88 to 91 Suburbans, Blazers, and crew cabs, dualies, 1 tons were still the square bodies, but they had the fuel injection. But just get all your stuff for an 87 pickup. I think what they call them R10s. They weren't C10s anymore, or C1500s. Anyway, fuel injected, 87 square body, best year. 91 actually, best year. The old Oklahoma Lullaby had a 4L80E in it. So before that, I think 90 on down, you could only get them with a turbo 400 or a 4-speed. But in 91, you could get the overdrive. Heck yeah. Glad I had one on hand. Not so glad that everything seems to be junk nowadays. So I guess we're just gonna, yeah, it's riveted on, so there's really no fixing that. So I guess we'll just steal our pump off of it and maybe steal our fittings and throw it right in the trash. In case you're wondering, there's the part number HP 10256. Also made in China. Thanks, Delphi Technologies. There you have it. That's how to convert a stock TBI fuel pump to AN fittings. I'll definitely forget to leave a link in the video description. Really expensive baby rattle. Rollover valve, fancy. Fuel pump is installed. We're ready to slide this in there. I think we're just gonna hook it up the way that it was and test it first. Because I don't want to go through all the effort of wiring and plumbing and putting the switch in a second tank if this thing doesn't even run. So let's just keep it simple, one step at a time. Yeah, should have just put gas in it, dummy. But hey, our fuel sender should work at least now. So we got the tank in there. I'm gonna take our pump with our tiny little filter combo in here, and this has got AN fittings on each side. This currently has a great big filter with AN fittings on each side, and I'm just gonna go ahead and sneak that out of there, put that in there. And then we just gotta wire up this fuel pump to the same circuit that that fuel pump's on. Hopefully it doesn't overload the relay or whatever's running it, and we should be able to try this thing out once we put some gas in it. Got 6 gallons of gas in this thing. I got a temporary wiring set up for the inline fuel pump. Let's go ahead and turn the key on, hook up said inline fuel pump, see what we got for pressure. If we got good fuel pressure, which we dang well better, let's try firing this thing up. We got spark plug wires back in, spark plugs back in. Let's give her a wrap. A wrap, a twist, a crank. Yeah, that. Let's hook up our temporary wiring for our inline pump. Oh boy. And it's creeping up. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. I'm gonna go check for leaks quick. Yeah, we got a leak. Almost looks like somebody forgot to tighten that fitting. It's hard to find good help, I tell you what. Better check the one on the back side too, huh? That one's tight. At least we environmentally safely captured all the fuel that was spilled. Technically, if you captured it, it's not a spill, right? Got the fuel pump temporarily wired in. Let's go ahead and hook it up, crank this thing over, see if she lights off. Here we go, hook up the wires to our inline pump. Can't even hear it, so either it's not working or it's real quiet. Sounds like we could use a little bit more battery charge. Don't worry, we got booster packs. It's alive! It's alive. She lives after 2 years of just being out of fuel. We got a hardwire in that fuel pump. I'm just gonna tie into the same circuit. Hopefully that relay's got enough oomph to it, enough amperage, enough wire gauge to run 2 pumps. I also got to hard mount that fuel pump so it doesn't rattle around on the frame rail and rub up against the exhaust and burn this mother trucker right to the ground. You don't want that. I know it's got oil and coolant in it, but let's double check, see if she's charging to charge up that dead battery we threw in here. The tach is working. She's idling about 500 RPM, 2,255.5 miles on this hot rod, 25 PSI is oil pressure at idle. Fuel gauge says it's full. Well, that's wrong because we only got 6 gallons in there, so dang it. I wonder if we gotta program that thing. Or maybe the wire's grounded out somewhere in there. Long story short, that fuel gauge is not correct. Looks like we got about 14.5 volts, so she's charging. I always like the way that this thing sounded with the big long pipes, and I don't know what we got, glass packs or turbos or whatever's on it. It sounds pretty good, especially when you're accelerating where you got a good load on it. But we'll give you a couple of raps, let you listen to the greatness of the 6-liter on this hot rod. Oh yeah, she sounds good. Let's get that fuel pump wired in proper-ish. Fuel pump is hardwired in. I just took and grounded it straight to the chassis. That's how the fuel pump is that's in the tank seems to be working. And then I took the wire that was running the one in the tank, cut it, put an eyelet on the wire going into the cab, and then put an eyelet on the one going to that pump, and then just coupled them right on the pin that's coming off this fuel pump. So let's test it out and give her a whirl. Also stuck a couple of mounting straps on it and some 5/16 bolts, so that ain't going nowhere.
He's going nowhere. Where you going? Nowhere.
Let's hit the key and see if my wiring is functional. It works! I am the smartest man alive. I am the smartest man alive! Well, we had her running, we flipped the AC on it. And ain't doing AC things, so we'll just gonna put a can of the Freon on there and see if she does the AC things. You know what you're doing? Not a chance.
Can's turning cold.
Cans getting cold? We might have to break into a new case of cans, huh? Mojo charged her up, got her blowing some cold air, and then let you go unhook these. You see that bubbling going on in there? That means that is leaking. It also means that DB is outside mowing, making a bunch of noise. But that Schrader valve's leaking. That's why it was low. Or one of the reasons anyway. I always check those. Mojo wants to give her give her a quick purge, see if it'll reseal. With our Mortsky flick device, get yours at mortsky.com. We don't want to use the Mojo Craft screwdriver?
No.
I think we're making them. Oh. Hey! Fixed it. We should put some penetrating oil or something in there to see if it sealed up. Soapy water would be ideal,
water.
but all we got is crappy Pilsner beer. Brake clean, because that's what was handy. Go to your home. Fixed it, Mojo. All you had to do is turn it off and turn it back on again. Where's the cap for it? Good work. Until you drop that. True it away. Just true it away.
Here we go.
I'm gonna be so cool now. The old air conditioning is working. Now let's mess with the cruise control. That's right, this thing is a drive-by wire, so it's super easy, I'm told, to get the cruise control working on these things. So let me show you what I got going on. I got a little Rostra brand switch off of the Amazonia. I'll put the part number right here. You can go ahead and buy one, and I'll show you how to wire it up. So ideally we would use the switch on the column, but we're being lazy and we just want to check to make sure it works. So it's got a little light for the on and a light for the engage, but you can turn it on and off. You can do the resume Excel and the set cruise, or yeah, just the set. Anyway, you gotta have black ground. The red and white gotta be 12 volt key power. Brown is the cruise on, green is the set, and yellow is the resume. So we're gonna go ahead and pin that to the tack module. I already got this ends put on here because I used it on the slob trying to diagnose the cruise control on that thing. Conveniently, the tack module is in the cab I don't know why. That's where it was when we built it, or the other guy did it. So let's go ahead and wire that up. Hopefully it works. Oh, you killed it at the cruise control install, Duff. Well, we got her in there temporary because there's nothing more permanent than temporary electrical. Anyway, this kit came with the electrical guillotine, Scotch locks. Those are going right in the trash. So we just got our connector hanging here for now. We'll probably put her down there right about where the dual fuel tank switch is once we get everything tested out, make sure it's working. But I'll make sure it's working before I hardwired in there. Wasn't too bad to wire in. But now I want to lift this thing up in there, give it an oil change. It's been 2 years. It's got 2,000 miles on it. We've had a bunch of fuel issues, so it's probably got a bunch of fuel in there. Also, it looks like the transmission's leaking, so let's take a look at that, because we don't want to leave marks on somebody else's concrete, or mine. But it's pretty well seasoned around here. LSs are pretty good for leaks, but that thing likes to leak, and that thing's got a big leak underneath it. The old rib really needs a seal. And also a set of rings, apparently, we've discovered. Well, things have escalated. I didn't have an oil filter on hand for an LS, which, you know, why not? Because I got a yard full of them. And then also right above it, I'll show you, there's a block off plate with a hole in it for the sender for the oil pressure, and that was leaking. So I tightened that up, and then it got loose. So, yeah. But I did the right thing, and it was an M6 bolt, and I tapped it out to quarter fine, so quarter 24, and it snugged right up. Real nice.
Really nice.
That guy right there was leaking, and that bolt on the left, yeah. I went righty-loosey, so now we got her snugged up real good with a mishmash of SAE and metric bolts. Nothing but the finest around here. Don't worry, I dumped that Wix filter out and put it back on there. I'm sure it'll be just fine. Here's the tap and the bolts we use. You can see they're pretty much the same. You know, M6 is 6 millimeter and a quarter inch is 6.4 millimeters, so perfect. And the threads are a lot closer between a fine thread and a metric than it is from a coarse thread to a metric. So yeah, and the more threads the better, so good to go. The next oil leak we got here is a transmission rear main. That thing's looking pretty greasy, but I'm wondering if it's because it's not slid far enough. No, wait, that can't be. It can't be slid too far in because it's got a bolt-on yoke. So yeah, we ain't fixing that because we got to leave in the morning, and I don't have time to take that all apart. I don't feel like doing it, so we're just gonna go ahead and get one of those ordered and pop that out of there and spin a new seal in at another time and top it off with fluid, maybe bring some with. Topping off the transmission, we're gonna put a couple quarts in there because it's gonna leak out. Also got 6 quarts of 5W30 in the transmission. Check this dipstick out. I don't remember welding that up. Hopefully we don't need to check the oil. What a pile! Just keep checking this thing over more, turn the lights on. Well, that marker light wasn't working a second ago. That marker light's out. That headlight's dim. That headlight's out. This chicken chaser ain't working, and also one of the chicken chasers, or all of them, are leaking and causing the headliner to get soaked, so probably gotta reseal those stupid things. But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more.
We got one of these silly tailgate lights out too. Just can't win with this thing. Oh yeah, fluids are topped off, tires are checked, lights are checked. I think we're gonna shut her down for the night and head out early in the morning, throw a little gas in. I don't have a gas gauge, so I got a 6-gallon can with that's currently empty, so we're gonna fill that up too. Hopefully we make it well. I didn't test the radio. That's gonna be a big thing. Also, I haven't tested the cruise, but we'll make it without either of those, but it'll be miserable. A lot more miserable than it would be otherwise. I did check the Vi-Air air compressor on the side, and that thing's working and the bags pump up, so if we do find something to buy, we'll just have to find a trailer and we can tow it home. I should probably bring a receiver hitch and a ball with. Good idea. All right, we'll see you guys in the morning. All right, it's a little after 6 o'clock here in the morning. I got my vacation shirt on. Get your Floyd Cotterpin shirt at mortskerepair.com. I'm going to throw the sombrero on and do a little floating down the river when we get there in 360 miles, 6 hours later, and several gas stops. So let's get on the road. Let's do this. You gonna stay and watch the shop? Perfect. Well, we are on the road. The cruise control is not working. Neighbor Bob has one less wild pet duck. Hopefully it didn't go through the grill. It sure felt like the bumper, so that thing's gonna rattle even more. One of the bumper guards likes to rattle. But we got a full tank of fuel and we're on our way. The only thing I can think of to check on the cruise control is there's a switch that's hooked up to the brakes. So it's hot when the brakes are on, so basically tied into the brake light circuit. And maybe it's not seeing that signal. So, who knows? We can live without cruise control. The AC's blowing cold. I'm gonna fire up the radio here and hopefully that works. Keep it posted. Chose the wrong pickup to drive with no wipers. Add that to the list. Oh, my favorite job, smashing the ice. Good times. Anyway, we've been dealing with this rain, and there's no Rain-X here at the Starlight in Aberdeen. We went 92 miles. At 7 gallons, so 13.14 miles a gallon. Can't complain. It's throwing some codes for low PO 171 and 174. So anyway, it's lean. Bank 1 lean, bank 2 lean. So seems to be running pretty good. We're just gonna wing it. Maybe we might stay in town for a minute here and let this pass and try to find some Rain-X. I did wash the windshield. I suppose I could inspect why the wipers aren't working, but I'm guessing it's either the motor or the switch or the wiring in between the two. I suppose I could check the fuse. That seems way too easy. I did pick up some Cowboy Cadillac beverages for the vacation and some Jack Links, the pride of South Dakota. Well, I don't know if it's the pride, but anyway, they're made in South Dakota, right? Where at? Well, it says Link Snacks. Minong, Wisconsin. Some of them are from, what, Alpena, South Dakota? It's letting up. Hammer down. Hopefully it starts. Oh yeah, LS things. Alright, we made it to Burke. Swung into the Napa here, got some mass airflow sensor cleaner. I'm getting a couple of codes, the 171 and the 174, so I feel like that's either dirty injectors or we're getting a P0101, which is mass airflow sensor. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean that thing when I get to the cabin. It only wants to go to about 70, then you mash it, and we don't have any accelerating power, so something to do with the mass airflow sensor, and it's a mystery mass airflow sensor that's in here because I took this one out and I put it in that silly Pontiac mud truck. So that, and I picked up some Rain-X, you know, now that it quit raining. Crap, I forgot to wash my windshield. I should do that quick. But anyway, we put 20.6 gallons in. I'm pretty sure it's a 20-gallon tank. So yeah, and it's right at 202 miles since the last fill up. So we're going through some hills and we crossed the river and we're getting a little under 10 now. Anyway, home stretch, 60 miles to go. And then we'll be in the Sand Hills of Nebraska. We're hitting the gravel on the home stretch to the cabin. So I kind of want to clean that mass airflow sensor at some point. I'll try to video that if I don't get too deep into the floating guidance beverages. But yeah, I'm gonna do some of that. Do a little floating, do a little hydrating, and do a little relaxing. So I'm gonna head down cabin lane. We'll see you guys whenever we see you. We made it though. The old Cowboy Cadillac does not disappoint. Wow, it could be better, but the AC not good enough. Cruise non-functional. Stereo real good. Next morning here, may or may not have spent the night sleeping in the old camper special. That back seat is not bolted down, not comfortable. I don't fit in there real well, and so the door was open. And the mosquitoes are bad. But a little hungover. Let's fix this mass airflow sensor. Maya, I'd let you out, but you're a little bit crazy. And anyway, you can just watch and learn the Duff things. Here's a go girl. Mass airflow sensor is pretty dirty, and there's some cotton or something on it. So I'm gonna take a little mass airflow sensor cleaner, and then just for S's and G's, we're gonna throw a little Berryman in the tank, and maybe that'll clean the injectors. I know Berryman is not my first choice, but that's what they had, Maya, okay? So we're gonna throw that in there. I don't think we got injector issues, but hopefully this fixes that, because that is grossly dirty. Good thing I brought some Mortsky swag with to use as a pillow. Also, the headlight is not a very good pillow. It looks comfy, it's not. The old Dollar General only had brake cleaner and carb cleaner. I guess you're supposed to use mass airflow sensor cleaner, which I think is a gimmick, and they just put a different label on there and charge you more money. But anyway, we're gonna do the right thing. Let's read the instructions on here. Increases miles a gallon. Yeah, 4 to 10 horsepower gain, it says, Maya. And improves your air-fuel ratio. Real test, real results. Reduces rough idle, decreases hesitation and pinging, improves fuel economy in miles per gallon. Entire job takes less than 10 minutes. Well, that's with a professional. Do not apply while equipment is energized. Okay, vehicle is off. Locate your MAF, got it. Unplug MAF, got it. Remove MAF, got it. Place a shop towel under MAF to catch any runoff. Yeah, definitely gonna do that.
Not.
For best results, clean your airflow sensor every time you change your air filter. Don't contact the hot wires. They should show a picture like we know what a hot wire is. Literally, it is that throttle body that's on there. This is the model. There we go, mass airflow sensor overhaul. I'm gonna take her for a test drive. Some turkey action over here. Hey, guys. Cruise into the big city of Ainsworth here. Check out that old International Harvester sign. And then it's also an American Motors dealer. Yeah, Americana. But also, check this out, Rudy's Collision and Custom. He's got some sweet stuff up here, like a 53 to 55 truck cab. He's got some big old semi wheels tucked underneath there. 64 Ford wagon. Slammed on the ground. Black interior. She's rough, but it looks cool. Even a Country Squire. I think that was the highest trim level. About a 66, 67 Pontiac Executive. 63 Impala. 4-door Post. Oh, Bel Air, I guess. 6-cylinder car. 60 Ford Starliner. No. Fairlane. It's a 4-door. Duh. With some big wheels on it. 49 to 51 Chevy 4-door Fleetline. A crew cab Dodge Swept Line. 4-wheel drive even. That's pretty neat.
How neat is that?
She's a power wagon. 64 to 66 Ford. Twin I-beams, so what, 65, 66? And check this bad boy out. Got super singles on it. Some big old stacks. Polished tanks. 5th wheel. Twin stick. Fancy steering wheel and stuff. Dig it. Cool stuff over here at Rudy's Collision. I don't know if they just got them all out here on display or if they're for sale or what, but Iraq sucks. Apparently this one was on the road during the Iraq War yet. Couple projects. Check them out. They're probably for sale. The 64. Too bad she's so rough. That'd be a neat car. Dang, the Cowboy Cadillac is a good looking unit. I just left the cabin and ran to O'Reilly's and bought a 7/8 wrench. Well, I bought a whole wrench set because it's not much more money than just a 7/8 wrench. I'm going to try to spin the oxygen sensors out and see if we got a restriction in the exhaust system. It's still doing the same thing. We did fix the MAF code, but I'm getting a lean code now. I tried running with the air filter off. Still only gets to about 2,500 RPM, and we need more RPMs. So cruised into the big city of Valentine, went into Wood Lake, and went through Johnstown. They're pretty much ghost towns, but kind of neat little towns to drive through. Valentine is if you got a Squarebody, move to Valentine because everybody's got Squarebodies there. So I'm taking the back roads back. Like I said, we're going to go through Sparks and Springview. Springview's got this really awesome sign that I always like to take a picture by when I'm there. So I'm going to do that. And yeah, get back and this thing cools down. I'm going to spin some oxygen sensors out and see if that wakes this thing up. I guess they call this the Outlaw Trail. Good place for a Cowboy Cadillac to cruise. Big city of Sparks. Looks like it's the home of the Sparks store and Dryland Aquatics. Pretty wild, places like this still exist. The lone gas pump of Sparks. Ooh, I wonder what's in Norton. Hopefully a Squarebody. The Keapaha County Fairgrounds and Dance Pavilion. Looks like a party to me. Full-on cicada season here too. There's the fairgrounds. Looks pretty quiet this Sunday afternoon. The Norton Dance Hall. Big city of Springview with the best old sign in the Midwest. W.E. Ripley and Company. Oh, check out the Squarebody dually tow truck. 78.9 Ford pickup and a G-body roundy-round car. What's a short bed too? Power performance, they know that's cool. Check out the 71. Let's get some nice patina. Thin cap short bed Ford. Check out this cool old corner gas station stucco. You can drive in on either street. Looks like it's in a apartment now, or a house. Oh, these old gas pumps are sweet. It's got the globes kind of built into the top of them. I don't know, it's got a globe light. Looks like they're old Sinclairs. A Fry! You don't see many of those. I don't know if they call that architecture, but the county library's got a pretty neat style to it too. Looks kind of like an old movie theater, but it's a little bit narrow to be movie theater. Honk if you like this library. Do we even have a horn? Oh boy. Took a little detour here in Bon Homme County. There's an auction coming up, and there's no pictures of the cars in the auction. So we're gonna swing in and check them out. It's a Weeman auction. I think it ends here end of August or something like that. But let's take a look, see what we got. It's a great place for some wind towers. It's like a 65 or 6 Chevy Impala, no motor. 4-door post. Oh boy. No floors either. Good grief. She's rough. I think that's going for scrap. These Ford wagons, I kind of dig them, but it's missing the front clip. I don't know, 74 to 77, 78, something like that. What's this? A 74 Impala. Good derby car. Nice front bumper. That's about it. 64 Galaxy 4-door hardtop. Yeah, unfortunately these cars have been pretty stripped and have been sitting in the dirt. Oh, check out that auto light. I don't know, some type of timing light tuning deal. Quadrajet on the back window. Looks like it's so rusty the 9-inch is half tore out of it. 63 Bel Air 4-door post. That one looks better. 66 Biscayne 4-door post, missing the clip. 67 Impala 4-door post. What's this, about a 71-2 satellite 4-door? I don't even know what those things are. Celebrity? Smaller than a Celebrity. Not for us. It's like another 65 or 6 Impala. This one's a small block car. 4-door post. About a 61 Olds. Those are pretty cool factory stamped valve covers. I think that's a 394. A 74.5 Malibu. Impala, 70, 71, something like that. Little AMC Eagle. Short wheelbase. Pinto. Looks like they moved the fuel tank. Didn't want to schmuck her up too bad. Blow it up. It's been making a race car, derby car. Another 74 Chevy. That one's been schmucked up already. Pretty decent bumper on her. Another 67 or so Chev 4-door. Box Caprice. 73 Chevy 4-wheel, no, 2-wheel drive. Got the good egg crate grill. Full top Blazer. Pretty rusty, unfortunately, like all these Blazers. Still got the roll bar. Got the low backs and the console. Looks like a pretty stripper model. No two-tone, nothing. Ooh, little two-tone green. I always kind of thought that was a cool color combo. 73.4. Got a little topper. Another two-tone two-wheel drive. OBS and a GMT 800. Of course, they got a bunch of equipment too. guys must have been quite the operation. There's about 11 swathers, 30 tractors. Look at all these fuel barrels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Why would you need that many fuel barrels? Maybe you like going to auctions and buying them. I don't know. Look at this cool little trencher, little ditch witch. Got a blade, trencher, bucket. It'll do anything you want it to do. It's just gonna take a little while. This thing's pretty cool. 58.9 Chevy, quad headlights. Got some nice patina. It's got the big boy fenders. They stick way out. It's a little dinged up, but cool rig. Of course, rusty above the windshield, like they all are. Freaking nice.
I hate Mrs. to pieces.
Could be a 409, but it's a 235, or maybe a 261. Two-tone International. A couple of red ones. I'm pretty sure red and green were the only two colors you could get these, it seemed like. Unless you're pudding and find a green one for a seafoam. Well, that thing said it had a 327. It's gone now. Alright, back on the road. Well, how fitting. Cops, and we're about 10 miles from Mitchell. It's a great day for hay.
It is a great day for hay.
What's it to you? I knew I'd find her at Tiffany. She's on the Minor County border. Ooh, the Howard Farmers Co-op. Man, ain't been to a co-op in a good minute. Back on the road. 3 hours to go. Ooh, a Fendt. What a terrible color combination. Red and green. It's like, I think it's Christmas or what? Oh, it's a combination. Red tractors and green tractors are already available, so let's make them red and green. Shoot, 14 miles a gallon on that one. Killing it. Little road construction stop here. The AC is keeping up today. I think I'm an idiot. I think I need to put a fuel filter in this thing and maybe that'll fix it. I love listening to these flag people getting their life stories, and they love telling us. Got about a 4-mile stretch here on Highway 25 in South Dakota they're gonna go through. That is the nicest flag car I've seen in a while. Usually it's a real piece of crap. This looks like a nice company car. Brand new Chevrolet. Hopefully this baby starts. Whoo, back on with the AC. She feels good. The joys of driving junk. We're just north of Vienna on Highway 25 here, and I think the fuel pump finally took a crap. So the good news is we know why it wasn't running that great. The bad news is we're broke down on the side of the road, but I got some buddies in Watertown. One of them's gonna come get me and loan me a car, and we'll go grab a pickup and trailer and come back and get this hot rod and take it home. Yeah, down to 0 PSIs. That's no good for business. It was running all right until it wasn't. It could just be one of these relays or a connection going to it or a lot of things, but it's hot out and I didn't bring much for tools, so here we go. Found a nice yard to break down in front of though. Little breeze. It's great. Got her off the road, found some suckers to give me a ride. Now you're gonna be famous.
Yep.
Oh, he's got slots with the bullet wheels, stacks. He needs tank so he doesn't have to have his folders, but check this out. What a good waste of a 99-06 Chevy. Oh, myth. They're on it. Two-face. Yeah, I guess it's a thing. Look at this sweet ride we traded up for. 55,000 miles on a 5.0 Mustang, but it's got the silly shifter and only 2 pedals. So those gentlemen that came and picked me up watched the show, and they were on their way home from picking up a diesel at a shop. And they said, we gotta help this guy out, he's a YouTuber. So they gave me a ride to the big city of Henry, and then my buddy Ben picked us up there, and he's gonna loan me a Mustang to get home and get my pickup and trailer, and we're gonna haul a Mustang back and figure out what's wrong with this truck. I don't know if we lost power to the fuel pump, or if the fuel pump crapped out, or what, but we got no fuel pressure, and it's kind of something you need with an LS, so I'll let you know. It's gonna be a long night. It's 4 o'clock, gotta drive 2 hours home and get this loaded up, and 2 hours back. Yeah, it's gonna be great. I'm ready to sleep in my own bed though. We'll put her on the lift tomorrow and figure out what the heck's going on with it. Fun times. LS swaps are great. I should just put a Coyote in it, I guess. This thing does run on ethanol, but he says he's not running it anymore because it took out his fuel pump. Unacceptable. Duff! Did you miss me? Well, we haven't lost the shop yet. Man, this thing, she makes good time. Jenny had the trailer tilted up, ready to go. White Ryan's full of fuel. Got the binders and chains and batteries and winch controller all ready to go. So let's get Benny's Stang on there. Get it out of my yard before somebody thinks we're into Mustangs around here. Because we definitely are not Mustang guys. You gonna guide me on the trailer? Who's a good boy? You got it all tied down, or I gotta double check your work? Looks good. Hopefully that pony don't get loose on us. Ooh, look at that gorgeous sunset. Anyway, we're back to the old Cowboy Cadillac. Got the Mustang dropped off. It's dark out, as you can see. So we'll go ahead and get this winch down, and we're gonna get back on the road. 9:15. It's gonna be late night, Duff. Think we'll be back by midnight? I don't know if that'll pick that up. 9:31, not bad. I had to BS with the old boys for a little while, because tell them thanks and give them some magnetic can koozies. Get yours at mortsky.com so I can pay for this tow bill. He said he's into 68s. He's got a 68 Super B and a 68 Coronet and then a couple of RTs. Good stuff. All right. We got 2 hours of driving. I'll see you guys back at the ranch. We're back at the ranch. Got back about 11:30 last night. I think we found all of the bugs. Look at how tight this thing is on the trailer. She's pretty much rubbing on the driver's side. But look at that. We got like a solid 1.25 over here on the passenger side. Anyway, let's get this thing loaded and on the lift and see what the heck happened. Maybe we'll unload it and it'll just start right up. Not likely, but you never know. What are the odds it starts today, Duff? Not very good. You haven't ridden in this thing in a while. I guess you're gonna go with. Stay out of my jack links. Here we go. Slingshot, engage.
Slingshot engaged.
No, we're not out of gas. We put gas in, I don't know, 30 miles before it crapped out on us. Maybe 50. Anyway, it's not a fuel. It's not the quantity of fuel. Might be the quality. Maybe that's what it is. We got some bad gas. That's what it is. Let's get it inside in the shade, up in the air. It's getting warm out already. Well, she's back up in the air. Let's give her a visual inspection, see if we can see anything underneath. It's causing some issues. Well, we got a copious amount of transmission fluid leaking out, but if it doesn't run, we don't need to worry about that. The electrical connections seem pretty tight. I think the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and hook some power up, see what happens to this thing. Our ground hooked up there. Send her power, see what happens. Sounds like we lost power. One thing I did think about on the drive is this filter. It kind of seems like the filter's plugged, so let's take this filter off that I know nothing about and check to see if it's plugged. And then we're gonna have to backtrack and see why we don't have power. So my thought here is the fuel pump was working too hard because the fuel filter was plugged up, and that caused some type of electrical overload, which maybe blew a fuse somewhere. Or burns out, burns my armpits. Or burned out the relay. Let's go take this filter over to the bench and check her out. So this aftermarket filter, looks like you can unthread it if you grab on here and here. We did have it going the right way according to the arrow, so I don't know. We're gonna find out. Truck driver, must know mojo. What's gonna be behind door number 3? There's a lot of crap in there. I wouldn't say that it's plugged up by any means. You can definitely clean that out though. Just a bronze filter. These are kind of nice because you can take them and clean them. I'm more of a just throw a new filter on type of guy, but at least with something like this, you got an option on the side of the road. So I'm gonna take this, get some brake cleaner and some compressed air, clean this out. That came out pretty good. Clean out the housing a little bit here. I have no idea where this filter came from. It was used when I put it on there. I'm sure it was on some project I bought or came in some box of parts at an auction sale, but who knows? We'll see if this rubber O-ring will seal up once again for us. What are the odds of that? I guess put it all back together and throw it on there, see what happens. Well, that's not good. Hook power to it. I know we got a leak over here, but hopefully it's just from the fuel pressure gauge. We'll let her down and take a look at that and then check into some wiring. Well, I think we dodged a bullet on the fuel leak, Duff. The old pressure relief detent valve was stuck in, so we loosened that up. So that was an easy fix. Now you gotta chase some electrical up here and see what's going on there. I wonder if these two relays here aren't for the fuel pump. Let's see what happens. Do a little prodding around with the old power probe. If you're doing a lot of electrical troubleshooting or doing an LS swap, get yourself one of these things. Won't regret it. Not a paid promotion. All right, doing a little backtracking. I found the culprit. The relay is in the glove box, which would have been handy to know. A little diagnosing here. White wire is straight to ground. The black wire is powered up by the ECU. When the key comes on, it runs for 2 seconds, and then once the engine's running, it stays on. Blue wire goes to our fuel pump. Red comes from the battery, and you could see they didn't do a very good job of crimping and heat shrinking and soldering the red wire. So like I said, that's battery power, which is also exposed. Listen to this. So we got power there on the outside. No, I did not poke through there. That was just hanging out there waiting to ground out on something. Unfused, of course. But when we go ahead and poke it in the socket, we got no power. So somewhere between there and there, we don't have power. And I'm guessing it's right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut that out, stick a new splice in there, and hopefully that fixes the issue. I'm guessing it's been a bad connection for quite some time and is leading us to this, so it's not getting 12 volts at the pump. So we don't have enough power, so it's burning out pumps and it's not giving us all the pressure we need. And now I send power to that blue wire right here with our power probe. Handy dandy deal. And we got 60 pounds of fuel pressure. So I'm gonna go ahead and redo that crimp or connector or insulated butt connector or whatever you want to call it. And then we'll test it. Probably could have fixed that on the side of the road. Oh well. We were 100 miles from home. I was hot. I was over it. Problem solved, hopefully. I'll let you know. They even use nice heat shrink solder butt connectors. Just didn't know how to use them, I guess. Things have escalated. So this was the battery power, and I would like to see at least a 14 gauge, you know, maybe a 12. This is a 16 gauge. That was powering up 2 fuel pumps. So that was the weakest link, and I think this thing just got hot enough at the end that melted that solder out of there, maybe. So anyway, I've moved the relay up here with the other relays so that the power wire only has to go from right up here on the firewall to right there, because it comes from the battery, which has that terminal on the firewall. And then we ran the wire that powers it, turns the relay on, just turns the relay on from the ECU back over here. Then we'll just grab a ground over here, and then we'll run a new wire, significantly larger wire, 12 gauge from the relay down there, and then I've got a 10 gauge, maybe it's 12 gauge. Anyway, I got a way bigger wire than a 16 gauge feeding the relay, so it's going to be way better. It's going to be more serviceable. Yeah. Freaking LS swaps. I don't know why I keep buying LS swaps that other people did. Probably because they're way cheaper to buy them done, even though you spend some time fixing them. But it's going to be way more good now. And this is probably the fuel issue that we've been having this entire time, is we didn't have enough power going to our fuel pump, which didn't give us enough fuel pressure. So the more you know. If you got fuel problems with your LS, hook up a gauge, see what you got for fuel pressure, and make sure you're getting a solid 12 volts down there. And run at least 14 gauge wire. Here we go. Got our new relay down here by the other relays. Let's go ahead and turn the key on, see if we get some fuel pressure. I can hear it running. Come on, be like 60. 50, that'll work. About the real test to see if it fires up. Awesome. Now hopefully that takes care of our lean codes. Our other code is for our check engine light. So it sends a ground signal to turn that thing on when the check engine light is on. And so you got to hook a light up to key power so that when it sends a ground signal, the light comes on. So I'm going to go ahead and figure out what we can do for a light. Hopefully there's one in that instrument cluster. And then we just got to hook our brown wire up to it so that it comes on. And it checks to see that that circuit is there. And clearly right now it's not seeing a circuit there. So we got to do a little something there so that we have a check engine light, and also that we don't get a code for a check engine light not being in existence. So we're gonna dig into that.
Oh, couldn't have got it running without you. Thanks so much for your LS swap expertise.
Well, I know a lot about these LS engines, you know, and I really like them and appreciate them when they're put in vehicles that didn't come with them. So I'm glad to help, you know.
All right, well, enjoy ramming into Chris Birdsong.
Oh, I'm gonna.
With this gym.
LTD right up the ass. Nope, we got to go up there, do dirt track things, and you should come do dirt track things too.
Circle jerkers.
Yeah, or whatever we're doing. I think just left rights.
I'm more of a demolition derby guy, so I don't know if you
make that happen.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, you brought more of a demo car than a race car.
No. Everyone see me cry. That would be the way to do it. Not my pride and joy.
Not old Bessie here.
Hell no.
Oh, you went all this thing's even got hand kooks on it.
Well, I bought the cheap ones, the Vercellis, and the sidewalls were so pliable that they would actually fold when the car would go into a corner.
Into a hard, a 4G corner?
Like 30 miles an hour or more. Forget about it. The hand cooks are a lot better tire.
Good to know. For all your mayonnaise era Ford lovers. Go with the hand-cooked Kinergies.
This is a beautiful car.
White lines out even.
The air conditioning is like a refrigerator. You set the cruise control and you do 85 miles an hour. And you get out, you feel like fresh as a daisy.
I think the shirt is what does that.
Helps.
Get yours at polebarnmerch.com.
Well, not this one. I got this one at Goodwill.
I won't even wear that crap that we sell. All right, safe travels.
All right, later, man.
Oh, yeah. That baby's a gem. He doesn't stand a chance against that GTP, though. Both brake lights work? That's pretty impressive. Blistering speed. All right, I got to see if I can find the destructions for that check engine light before I can figure that out. But that transmission leak is horrendous, so I'm gonna fix that. I can deal with the check engine light now that it runs, but the transmission fluid's expensive and we're almost out. So let's put a seal in. Well, this didn't look like a very old seal that was in there. Got the new one in and it's still leaking, so I think I'm gonna swap yokes, and I'm also gonna swap this bolt out as well. Did a video on I don't know, like 83 Chevy van a while back. Stole the motor and tranny. Oh, we put a blower. On that engine, but anyway, it's got the same style yoke. Seems like it's in better shape. That one wasn't leaking, so clean that one up. Slide it in there, see what happens. Hopefully it quits leaking. She's a little grooved up, and the one that I put back in there was grooved up as well, so you might be on the lookout for a new one of them. There we go, one seal installed and buttoned up, and it still looks like it's freaking leaking. God dang it, what is going on there? Let's put some right stuff on it, or get a different yoke, or what? All right, took this thing for a test drive, and we put a little over 50 miles on it, so 3,100, and there's 255. Carry the 4. Put 850 miles on this thing in the last week. I do believe that a lot of the fuel-related issues we were having in the past was related to that. We did take apart the tank one time, and the line was blown off between the pump and the sender, obviously. Well, anyway, there's things that can be fixed. There's plenty of things more on the list, but this thing drives great. It's got air conditioning, it's got an LS, it's got overdrive, it's got a hitch, and it's got airbags on the back, so hopefully we can do some pulling with this thing now that it's got all the power that it needs. It's funny how you don't get all the fuel pressure you need when you got a 16 gauge wire in your fuel pump. So don't do that, kids. But anyway, I think that's where we're gonna wrap this thing. We need a bunch of work to it. We gotta do a bunch more. That's the thing that sucks with projects. They're never done, and that's kind of the reason that this thing got shelved, is because another project came along and we just kind of forgot about it for 2 years. So make sure to remind me that this doesn't happen again. We used to have Cowboy Cadillac shirts, but I think they've been sold out for a year now. So you still can get the Cowboy Cadillac decals at mortsky.com, so get yours at mortsky.com. We got ball caps, we got t-shirts, and your guys' support of the merch at mortsky.com, you know, getting magnetic can koozies and banners and such, buys us 10, 12, and 14 gauge wire so that we can wire up relays on fuel systems so that we don't have to sit on the side of the road. But anyway, you guys can support us by watching. You can go help us out on Patreon. Just comment, like, and sharing, subscribe, and all that stuff is great too. Like I said, merch is one of the best ways. But anyway, I appreciate all you guys. Thank you very much for watching. Remember, it doesn't matter how you get it done, so long as you are having fun. Long, low square bodies. Real fun. got ourselves a regular old freaking roadside attraction here. Guys with their Harley Davidson's heading to the rally, taking pictures of my ponchos. I had one just like that. It wasn't that high though. It wasn't purple. Dang, has that got a supercharged engine hanging out of the hood? Oh yeah, get it! Look at that cut off blow. So fast it blew the sleeves right off that tank out.